All this, we've been talking about from the standpoint of the manager and the employer and why this is important. And you write later on in the book about creating the right kind of organizational culture, to have a better allocation of work. But even before you get to that, you do put the pressure on your women, your female readers, right? I mean, my take is you were saying to them, you should be having your own no club playbook, and frankly, you should be learning how to say no and doing it in the right way. And you offer 3 steps to assess whether a request that's being made for you is really warranted, like if it's worth you doing or if it's going to be a non-promotable task. You say, get the information you need to understand the task, consider who is asking you, and eliminate the wrong reasons for saying yes, to doing that task. So can you expand on that, Laurie? Like, okay, say, you're talking to a female audience right now, and I think that your message is, hey, you also have responsibility to say no. So tell us how to go about doing that.
Sure. It's interesting you frame this as responsibility. When I
Yeah.
talk to women's groups, it's actually they're hungry for strategies to help them navigate the situation.
But they have a responsibility to themselves and to their careers, to their families, their own families, that
Mhm.
their imbalance might be taking them away from the families, but not alone the fact that they're contributing income to their family. They have a responsibility here to do what's right for them and their families, and they have to learn how to say no.
Uh, Women know how to say no.
Okay.
They're in a situation where they're cornered into saying yes. And then it becomes internalized, and then it becomes harder and harder. So it's not that we don't know how to say no. We're put in situations that dictate that we should say yes, that men don't face. So that's why navigating the situation is so important for women, because if we were just to say no better or more often, right?
Mhm.
What would happen? If everybody did it, then maybe the situation would change. But that's not going to happen, right? So let's say you have 7 women in your organization, right?
Yep.
3 of them start saying no. What's going to happen? The other 4 are going to start have to pick up the slack. Because if we don't know this dynamic is happening, one woman says no, another woman gets asked. So while that's a personal solution and women have an opportunity to manage the situation, the responsibility for fixing the problem really sits with how we allocate tasks in the first place. Because if I can, this is what we found in our own experience over the past 12 years. We spent our first 2 years and we were initially the I Just Can't Say No Club, which recognizes this dynamic. We spent the first 2 years figuring out how to say no in ways that we would feel okay about. We wouldn't feel guilty. We wouldn't have backlash from other people. We wouldn't upset others and so on. And we got good at it. And that's what that chapter is really about, is how to protect your time. The problem was the requests kept coming in because they don't come only from one person. They come from 50 different people. So I might say no to you, Jean, a couple times, and you say, okay, I got to give Laurie some space. She's got too much on her plate, but there's still 49 other people who are asking me to do things. Right. So it helps me manage my time a little better, but it doesn't necessarily solve the problem. And it doesn't necessarily move the tasks over to the men to balance out the load so that everybody's doing this work. It's not saying we want to overburden men. We just want to share the load. Like, let's just all do this.